welcome back to the channel. It's Wendy, and today I've got some books out that I am too frightened to work in. I know, it's ridiculous. Buy books, books beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to get rid of them. I love them, they're lovely books. But they are books I am currently too frightened to have a go at working in them. So I thought I'd share some of my scaredy books that I just don't know what to do with, and I'm too chicken to give it a go. First one is fairly obvious, and I've not had it, well, I've probably had it a year, and it came as a set, and I think I've showed it before. I've written on Fine Colour by Gagali. I've probably said that wrong as well. And it is an absolutely beautiful book. I do not regret buying it. As a collector's book, this thing's bugging me. What's going on with it? Oh, it's gone too tight and I can't open the book because of it. Right, it's coming off. That's it. It is a beautiful book. And like I say, I don't regret getting it. I got it pretty much blind, really, from Amazon UK. And the pages in it are absolutely, I mean, look, they're just literally spectacular. Beautiful drawings. And probably, if I just got this bit of the book, some of these are terrifying. Like, look at that. That's pretty terrifying. Some of these are terrifying, but I might have been brave enough had I not also, in the same pack, got this lovely masterpiece that comes with it. So it all opens up. Yes, there are other bits as well. But it's basically the artist's work, how they've obviously done these amazing pieces of work, and it's just absolutely stunning artwork in here. And now I'm like kind of like, well, what's the point of me colouring it? May as well just have a look in this one, because this one's always going to be better, isn't it? So and don't get me wrong, it, like I say, I do pick it up off the shelf quite a lot just to look at it, because it's so beautiful, particularly this version that obviously is coloured and terrifying. And yeah, like that wasn't terrifying enough, it came with some more stuff. This long pull out thing that it kind of feels like some kind of watercolour paper. But again, even this little thing, just can't face myself to do it. And like those weren't terrifying enough, you also got some smaller versions in a big postery thing. But yeah, I've had it, I've probably had it more than a year, you know, now I'm thinking about it. I've probably had it even longer than that, and I've literally made no attempt to colour in it at all. I've just kept picking it up and looking at it and admiring the artwork. But yeah, it remains uncoloured because I'm just too terrified to colour it. So that is my number one. I think it is my number one as well. Sorry, excuse the creaky chair. Books that I own, that I love. I think they're beautiful, but I just can't colour it. And then the next one I've also had, again, I think almost before my colouring journey, really. I think I saw this in Waterstones, which is a bookshop in the UK, a chain of bookshops. I think I saw this a long time ago in the art section, and again, I just thought it was really, really lovely. And some of this I kind of think, right, what is your problem? Why are you not colouring in this book? Because it kind of looks like it should be reasonably okay to colour. I've done birds, obviously I've done a lot of flowers in the past, but then they have these pages in that are beautifully coloured already, that I think are supposed to be inspirational, but unfortunately they kind of make me go, I can't, would mine be as good as this? Not sure it would. I can't colour in it then, because look, it's so beautiful. Mine wouldn't look like that. And so it remains uncoloured. So I thought, as a solution to that, I know what I'll do. Because I don't feel like I can colour in this book, what I'll do is I'll get another one. So if I make a mess of this one, it's okay, because I've got another one. But this one, as you can see, is also uncoloured. For some reason, I just cannot get past feeling a bit intimidated by the artwork that's already in these books. and feeling that I'm kind of like, look at that. How can you possibly carry on with that page when it already has a water lily coloured like that? And you've got a similar one that you're going to have to do to match up. Just hurts me. I know a lot of people will be just like, get over yourself, just colour it. I know. You're completely correct. I wish my brain would work like that so that I could pick up my pencils and actually give some of this beautiful book a go. Because it is lovely. Paper's really nice. Images obviously beautiful. There's plenty of inspirational stuff. But yeah, I've had these books for, well, one of them in particular, don't know which is which now, but one I've had for even longer than my colouring journey. I got it just because I thought it was a beautiful book without even thinking I would colour in it. But obviously I got the second one to try and persuade myself to colour it, and I still haven't. I've banned myself from getting the other Daisy Fletcher book. I think there's another nature book by Daisy Fletcher that also is beautiful. Somebody was showing it yesterday on. They hadn't coloured it either, so they were as bad as me. But yeah, no, haven't coloured it. I'm bad. Next one is a bit of a tricky one. This one I bought for school, to take into school, because obviously Matthew Williamson is a pretty well-known British fashion designer, and I taught textiles for a long time, so we used it in classroom for inspiration. But it is a colouring book. Never let them colour in it. Only trusted pupils got hold of it. But it is beautiful in that it shows you, perhaps I should start from the beginning, then it makes sense. It kind of talks you through how he designs and kind of shows you a bit of his influence, shows you what he did with it in terms of the fashion, and kind of breaks down the print into simple kind of colouring pages. And it's just a really interesting book. Again, you kind of got inspiration, him playing about with photography, where it went in terms of fashion, and a page for you to colour. And that's how this book goes through every time, that it kind of goes through his inspiration, where it took him, what the garment looked like, and then a page for you to colour. But as you can see, it's been home for a while, this book, but I can't make myself colour in this either. Some of them I don't think I would colour, like this I probably wouldn't colour because that's not particularly interesting to colour. He's obviously done it digitally, so it kind of breaks down. But some of them I think, yeah, maybe I could colour those. They're a little bit wallpaper here and there, and obviously I've got them because of its fashion influence, and it interesting for them to see the kind of journey of how it goes from A to B. But obviously there's quite a lot of them that are very colourable, like that one, like this one I think is really lovely. But I think because this book is so beautifully printed, the actual colour pages, I don't know if you can tell when I flip, they are literally solid, really solid cards that, you know, I could easily watercolour paint on those, and I don't think there'd be any problem at all. But because of that, because it is such a beautiful book, it's a proper glossy coffee table type book, I think, really. Yeah, I really like the images, but I just can't make myself work in it at all. And then it's always, but I might take it back into school. And then if I've coloured in it, I don't really want to have that conversation. But it's my book. I paid for it. If I want to colour in it, I should colour in it, shouldn't I? But nope, can't make myself do it. Another beautiful book. And it won't be everybody's cup of tea, but a book I really like that I can't make myself work in. Love looking through it. Think it's beautiful. Like it because obviously it's really fashiony and interests me. I don't know if it's still available. iSpin's there if you want to have a look at it. But yeah, Matthew Williamson, fashion print and colouring book. Can't make myself colour it. I'm such an idiot. I know. I'll bring it down a bit because these are all a bit smaller now. Excuse the actual sun that we have in Manchester today. Makes a nice change. My dear brother bought me this one for Christmas. Not this year, the year before. This is where I am. And I know a lot of people have coloured in this. And this one kind of feels like maybe I could make myself colour in it. And I'm sad to say I've got the Colour in Heaven version as well. Not been able to colour in that one either. Because now I'm kind of like, well, what's the point of colouring the Colouring Heaven edition? Really should just work in the book, but then can't make myself work in the book. It's cute. There's some really cute pages. It's got a dog in it, for goodness sake. Why am I not colouring in it? It's so lovely. I know there's lots of people that have coloured in it. I'm going to flick very quickly because I'm sure you've all seen it. It's a very popular book, isn't it? But Ink House by Roly Dobner. I think it's lovely. Still haven't managed to make myself colour in it. It does frighten me somewhat. Next one's a bit of a funny one, really. Character by Hannah Carlson. Obviously a very, very difficult book to get hold of. I was fortunate to get this second hand. But you know what I'm going to say now, because you can't get it again. It's a collector's edition, but there is kind of a but in this book. The lady that had it had coloured in it, and as you can see, she's used some pretty dark skin tone that's pretty patchy. So there was a page in here that I have actually coloured in, so it shouldn't, strictly speaking, be in this video. So I have kind of attempted to save the skin tone by painting over it, and I've worked in it, and that was quite a long time ago. And the lady that had it, as you can just about see from my mashed spine, cut out, and at the time I didn't know how many she'd cut out. I thought she'd just taken one out, but having seen a flip through since, I think she's taken about 4 out of this book. But since I've fixed that page, and as you can see there's a little bit of markage in it, but since she's fixed that page, since I've done that, I cannot make myself colour in it, because now I'm like, well, if I mess one of these pages up now, this book is not going to get replaced, because you can't get hold of it for love nor money. It's out of print. Obviously all these images are in lots of her other books. It's not the end of the world, but this is really thick card. It's single-sided, obviously, so you can alcohol inks in it. I know I'm being stupid. There's absolutely no reason that I don't work in it. I've already done a little bit, but because I kind of felt I had to keep it, I have to fix it. Can't look at that. But now I've been stuck. I probably have had this 2 years. I've done nothing in it other than occasionally take it off the shelf and look at it and think, oh, isn't it lovely? Wish you didn't have those pages ripped out of it. Perhaps I should work in it. No, can't make myself. I'll do the same one in my normal books. Well, what was the point of buying it? I don't know. Have I got some psychological problems? Can somebody tell me? I don't know. That's as far as I've got with it, and I can't do anything with it. I'm too frightened to go any further. This one, I don't know why I bought it, because even the flip throughs are scary, aren't they? But I thought, oh, maybe in real life it's not as bad as it appears in flip throughs. I'll bring it down a bit because it's a bit smaller. First of all, size. I was quite surprised how small it is. These are small, quite small books compared to what have I got handy? I've got Hannah's Carl's on there. So even smaller than a normal Hannah Carlson. And I don't know why, but in my mind, I kind of imagined this Disney Dreams Collection, Thomas Kincaid, Disney Princess colouring book, big title for a scary book. I kind of imagine these bigger, and somehow it being bigger would mean it wasn't quite so terrifying to work on. And again, a book that I think is beautiful, looked at it a lot. But then there's a reason Thomas Kincaid works for Disney as a painter, isn't there? Because he's amazing at it. Am I going to be able to can't talk now. Replicate was the word my mouth was struggling to say there. That on this side, as good as Thomas Kincaid, the painter of light? I don't think I am. And that puts me off. That I think the challenge of all of this, I mean, look how small a lot of this is. It's so tiny. It's already a fairly small book, and the detail in it is just minuscule. I've no doubt that when he's painted these are much bigger than on the paintings he's working in. So making it smaller actually makes it much more difficult, because the line work is so tiny that, again, I know there are people that are doing amazing things in some of these books, but for me, I just look at things like that and think, oh, perhaps this book I shouldn't have bought. I like looking at it. I think it's a lovely book. I'm not sure I'm ever going to colour in it. That one was a little bit more simple, wasn't it? It's a little, maybe not on that side though, now I'm looking. Look, it's beautiful. I love it. I'm not a huge Disney colourer, but it is a lovely book. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Don't know if I'm ever going to colour in it. Who knows? Oh, and then, oh, the pile. Yeah. Yep. Move over you. Manic Botanic. I've got the Korean, Japanese. I think it's the Korean version actually, but now I'm looking. Yes, it is the Korean version. The Korean version of this. So the paper in it is lovely, really beautiful, and these are really beautiful images. You know, so lovely. And again, I think Colouring with Alana's done quite a few pages out of here, and obviously she makes it look amazing, and that puts the fear of God into me even more about not colouring this book. Like, where do you even begin with all of this background? I don't regret buying this book because it is lovely, and again, it's one of those that I look through and I really think is stunning. And at some point, maybe I will be brave and try and pick one. But I think it's not just the fact that the objects are complicated. It's the backgrounds are so involved. I kind of feel like I just don't know where to start on one of these. But they are beautiful. It's just absolutely stunning artwork. I'd love to feel I could colour it and do it justice. But yeah, just all of these backgrounds are just 1,000,001 berries, 1,000,002 leaves and twigs. Maybe the answer is to go over it with gel crayon or something first and just concentrate on one of the actual creatures. I don't know, but I struggle to make myself do something like that and just ugh. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Manic Botanic. It's beautiful. I think I got mine from Etsy. Can't remember now. I've had this one over a year, I think, as well. But yeah, it's beautiful, and the Korean one in particular is definitely the better one to get. I think you can get it on Amazon. But yeah. Oh, and here we are on another one. Rainforest Escape, another one that my brother bought me. Thank you, dear brother, should you ever watch one of these. Don't know why I would. Oh, hello, we've gone out of focus. There we go. So yeah, I'm sure you've seen this. There's a few of these books by Jade Gideon. They're all on watercolour paper, and I think that is honestly why I'm too frightened to work in these books. I would not describe myself as a watercolour artist by any shades of the imagination. So obviously I use colour pencils in the main. Occasionally I know I use my metallics, but I'm using my metallics as a kind of background wash or highlights. I'm not really painting the actual objects in it. So I bought this thinking, oh, this will be really good to watercolour painting. Probably will be, but my watercolour painting skills are where my fear stems from now, because now I'm kind of like, well, it's got quite a lot of texture in it, so that's going to be a bit annoying with my colour pencils. Am I ever going to watercolour paint some of these lovely fine details? It's a lovely book, and if you do feel confident to watercolour paint and it's more your thing, and you're particularly interested in kind of tropical imagery, this is a great book in that respect. But yes, I am struggling to persuade myself to spoil it with my dreadful watercolour skills. But again, it's beautiful, kind of lovely shades of summer, which is very nice to look at. But it remains uncoloured because I'm too frightened to watercolour in it, even though it is a watercolour book on premium art paper. I'm an idiot. Rainforest Escape. by J. Gideon. Lovely and really, really chunky thick book as well. You do get a lot for your money. And on the same vein and the same reasoning is why I have not coloured in this one. Collage Wild 3. It's the only one I've got from Manuel and Colin. I know loads of people work in them, but I kind of feel again I should watercolour paint in them. I have no confidence in my ability to watercolour skin. Perhaps I might try in the summer when I'm off and ruin a page, because there are doubles in this one, aren't there? Yes, I think there are. But yeah, because they're so cute and they are lovely and people do amazing things with this book, and I really just don't know where to start with watercolouring skin in particular, that I have, as a result, coloured none of them, even though I know there are doubles. But yes, guilty, because it's watercolour really, for the same vein as the last one. Bought it thinking, oh yeah, that'll be good, I could watercolour it. But then every time I get watercolours out, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm just going to make a mess of that. It's because I'm a control freak, I think, really. That's what it is. That's the beauty of pencils, isn't it? I know I can control where I put a pencil, whereas water might go off there and do its own thing, and then I've ruined it. And there's no going back once it's on there in the main. Oh. I think a lot of people might suffer with fear of colouring in this one. I've got both of these. Again, I think my brother bought these ones as well. I clearly just save up a list for him of books that I'm too terrified to work in, but I really still quite like them. Please buy me them. I won't ever work in them. This one I kind of feel less terrified about, in that obviously I can use my colour pencils in it, so at least back in that comfort zone. But then I'm kind of like, but look at just that horse. There is so much to do just in there and there and there and there. That's before you can get over there. It's beautiful, it's stunning, what an amazing artist. But yeah, I don't want to ruin such beautiful, stunning artwork that there is in this book. So as a result, I've done nothing. In my head, I kind of think just choose a single page, because there's a lot of double-sided in here as well, isn't there? Which, yeah, puts me off again, because I kind of think, oh, I can't just even tackle just one, because it's got its matching twin over there. That same with this one. Doubles, kind of doubles. So maybe if there was just a single, I think quite a few people have attempted this one, haven't they? But bears, how to do polar bear fur. It's a whole other world of fighting with myself. But it's stunning. It's a really beautiful book. I'm hoping at one point I will be able to persuade myself to give it a go. Probably more likely in summer, because these are not going to be quick pieces to do. Oh, that's a single, isn't it? Maybe in summer I might try and have a go at one in here. I won't be trying on a double, that's for sure. But yeah, it's a beautiful book. I love owning it. I won't be getting rid of it, but I'm guilty of not working in it. By the lovely Thomas Atomic. Very nice book. Then I have a set of books that I am very bad for not doing. Why did I get a set of them when I hadn't worked in one of them? Because I enjoy shopping more than I do fighting to colour something. Forest Girl colouring books, as you can see, I've got 3. Not one of them has a coloured page in them. I don't know why these frighten me quite so much, but again, they're quite detailed. They obviously have a beautiful piece of artwork right next to where you're colouring, and again, that's kind of like, oh, I'm just going to fail, because it is not going to look as beautiful as her work, so just don't colour in it at all. I don't know, like that. I'm never going to colour that page. I know I'm never going to colour that page. To be fair, a lot of hers is just blued out, isn't it? But even so, it's still terrifying. Look at all those tiny buildings. Don't know. I kind of feel I should be able to colour in this book, but I've just not been able to make myself. I chicken out every time I pick a page. I think, yeah, I could do that page, like that's not too difficult page, surely. But yeah, somehow I just can't make myself do it. Every time something else wins and they go back on the shelf uncoloured. I like them. I think they're beautiful. I won't destash them. I will be keeping them. But I can't make myself colouring them because I'm an idiot. And then the last one, I bought this not really knowing a huge amount about it. It's a Good Wives and Warrior book, and obviously it is all nature. And I do like doing nature pieces, but somehow they're quite involved pages. And I kind of feel a bit overwhelmed by them. And plus, a lot of the kind of creatures and plants I'm unfamiliar with, so I think I kind of need to do quite a bit of research before I even try and attempt some of it. I think, again, it's a beautiful book, but they're so busy, involved. Like, is that a real plant? I just don't know. It looks pretty vicious. This one looks a bit more like what I'm perhaps could be used to. And then we've got pages like this that I'm like, is that an insect, or is it part of the plant, or is it another bug? I just don't know. And so I just get like, cute, but there's so many things in here mixed up. Like, is that part of an insect, or is that part of a plant? I don't know. So I just chicken out of doing it every time when it comes to trying to start it. I've picked this book out thinking, oh yeah, plants, I like colouring plants, I'm just in the mood to do some flowers. And then I look through this and think, oh, is there not an easier page to do? Is there not one that I feel like could just start there and work my way in? But yeah, I suppose this page is probably the answer to that, isn't it? Maybe I could start here. Maybe that's the answer with this book. But I I think all that would happen is I'd work on this page and then that's it. But back to pages like this and this. Yeah. It's beautiful. I shan't unstash it. I like it. I think it's a beautiful book. But terrifying. So yeah, I don't know how many there were. I didn't count them. I've just fished them off the shelf and literally showed you some of them. But yeah, they are undoubtedly my pile of terrifying books that are beautiful, that I have no regrets about buying. But if you're waiting around for me to colour one, you might be waiting a while. Have you got books you're too terrified to colour in? Books you know you like, but you just can't make yourself colour in? Or is it just me that has some serious psychological problems about buying books that I'm never going to work in? Thank you for watching. I hope it's at least entertained you a bit. Let me know what you think. Bye bye.